Hello, I'm Thomas Adam Johnson, bass player and CEO of Taj Music LLC.
Taj Music LLC is basically the name of my music group. Under the umbrella is production, playing, consulting. I give bass lessons also. And through that LLC, I offer those services. My goals for Taj Music is to endeavor more into production, education, and also consulting. What inspired me was I knew I had other gifts in me other than playing bass. I know I can produce, I know I can write, and I know I can teach. And I even do symposiums, workshops, and seminars. I'm educated, I read a lot, and also I want to give back. I want to die empty. I want to contribute to my community, to the music world, and to the world in general. So that's why I formed the LLC and started this company to give back what God has given me outside the sphere of bass guitar. When I was growing up, my father, Henry Johnson, introduced me to music at a very young age of 3. He bought me a red drum set when I was about 3 years old, and I had that kit about 7 years. And I would play drums all day, every day, and then I would go to church every Sunday. There's like 7 drummers waiting in line to play. Out of 7 drummers, that's actually funny, because we wait in line, and everyone was amazing. There was like a lot of talent, very talented people. I kind of got impatient, so I started playing the bass. The bass player was actually in law school, actually. So these 7 drummers waiting in line to play, and there would be no bass player on certain Sundays, so I would just start playing the bass. My father actually had a Mustang bass in the house. I started fiddling with that and took it to church. I learned it here and there, and then I actually started playing in a church in West Baltimore called Maximum Life with my cousins Corey Baker and Mark Baker. They started introducing me to Jocko and GRP, Fusion record label back in the day. And I started studying records like that, and that's how I started playing the bass guitar. But my dad actually supported me. He understood you get better playing with better musicians, because actually at Maximum Life, there was a musical director named Keith Johnson, and he's like a musical genius. I still haven't met many musicians in my life as talented as Keith. So I learned a lot about actually producing, sequencing. That was like my first step to even production. So I was about 13. The training keyboard just came out, I started sequencing. And from that's how I kind of evolved into a producer through Keith Johnson. But Keith actually taught me how to play in the pocket, how to play patterns, how to play loops. Church cat, they don't really have the discipline to play patterns and to play in a pocket and to play their part. So a lot of that has to do with Keith Johnson, with me playing at the other church that I left. When I left First Apostolic, Keith actually helped me with that. I believe the church is probably the best college for music. A lot of people don't know the drummer for the Tonight Show right now, Teddy Campbell, is actually a product of church. A good friend of mine, actually, Brian Fraser Moore, he plays for Madonna now, but I remember Brian playing actually at my home church at First Apostolic at Midnight Musicals. I remember Brian playing those, and he's a product, another great musician, Little John Roberts, and I could just go on and on. A guy grew up with Lady Gaga, Spanky, church. So I think church is the best college for playing patterns, playing loops, playing to a click, overall production, being quick on your beat, because there's not budgets in church most of the time. So you have to learn 50 songs on the spot. If you mess up, people think you're strange. There's another cat in line just as talented or more talented than you, ready to take your spot. So it's good competition in church because there's so many great cats. That guy for me that made me want to play the bass guitar is Joel Smith. On the Hawkins records, Kirk Carr records, anything that Joel Smith plays the bass on, Joel Smith is king on bass to me. He's the reason I play the bass. Listening to Kirk Carr's record, the old one with Kevin Warren, I forgot the name of the record. Listening to that record and watching the video, actually my brother Mike Reed, who's a phenomenal musician, he had the video at his house, and I watched that video like 1,000 times. And watching that video made me really want to do this. I really want to play the bass guitar. My first tour I ever did in my life, I believe it was 2001, 2002, with a lady named Vivian Green. She was an artist. She actually sung backup for Jill Scott. She may have been one of Jill's first background singers, and she later got a deal with Columbia. And I knew her fiance at the time, Eric Tribbett. I met him through his cousin, Terry Tribbett, who actually was the bassist for Jill Scott at that time. And they were like my big brothers in the game in the industry. And I toured with Vivian Green, and I moved to Philadelphia for a while, and I lived in Center City. And that's where I really learned how to really play music. The vibe and the synergy in Philadelphia is totally different than Baltimore. That's how I really got on the main stage, basically touring through my friend Eric Tribbett. Through that I met a lot of musicians from that experience. My influences in music in general is Jacob Store, Miles Davis, Tribe Called Quest, Richard Smallwood, the Hawkins Family, Lewis Cole, Pat Metheny, Alan Holdsworth. I listen to all types